What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost Premium Coupe. Huge thank you to Jordan Rowe over at Koons Sterling Ford, located here in Sterling, Virginia, for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Mustang EcoBoost or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have Jordan's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, well, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost Premium, and this particular one has been painted in Vapor Blue Metallic. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2024, Ford refreshed the Mustang inside and out, and now the EcoBoost makes 5 more horsepower than it did on the S550. But this being the EcoBoost Premium, you do get a welcome lighting sequence. So when you walk up to the vehicle with the proximity key fob in your pocket, the daytime running lights will do this fancy little sequence that you can see doing that it's doing right now. By the way, you do not get the welcome lighting sequence when you get the standard EcoBoost. You do get the welcome lighting sequence with the EcoBoost Premium. Speaking of this trim level, you do get LED headlights with automatic high beams as standard, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. Now zooming in on the headlights, you can see the headlights themselves are not totally blacked out. You do get those satin chrome trim pieces back in there, and then you also get this cool little Mustang pony right there, a little Easter egg there if you didn't know. But if you wanted this totally blacked out, you might want to look into getting the $1,195 night pony package, because not only would that give you a blacked out headlight bezel, it would also give you gloss black wheels, a black painted roof unless the vehicle was already painted black. You would also get a gloss black pony emblem here at the front, as well as everything else you can read on screen. But now, taking a step back, this is what the front end of the S650 EcoBoost looks like. So starting up here at our front grille, you get a satin black grille with the pony logo located at the center of the grille. One thing that's interesting about the new S650 Mustangs is that they get grille lights, so both there and there. And the reason that they have those grille lights is because apparently they were mandated by law, because you can see the nose of the vehicle sticks out quite a ways away from the headlights. So the headlights are kind of set back into the vehicle, whereas the grille is pointed out. So basically, these lights in the grille were mandated by law because of that, so pedestrians and other vehicles can see you at night. And they basically, it's like a marker for the front of the vehicle, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to point that out. And then coming down just a little bit more, you get satin black lower and outer grills as well. And I'll give you a little view of what the outer grills look like there as well. And then that is your satin black lower grille, and then you also get this satin black front lip as well. And that kind of about does it for what we got going on here at the front end. However, let's say you really like the new S650 Mustang, but you're not necessarily a car person and you're in between the GT or the EcoBoost. Well, let me tell you how you can point out an EcoBoost from a GT or vice versa. So basically, with the GT, you would get a gloss black hood vent up top here. You would also get a gloss black front grille and just a more aggressive appearance here at the front end and at the rear end. So you get a more aggressive front bumper with the GT as compared to the EcoBoost. And then obviously with the GT, you get the 5.0 fender badging and the GT badging at the back. That's a dead giveaway, but I figured I'd point out the small little things that you can tell the differences between the GT and the EcoBoost, if let's say the GT was a D-badge. But coming on down the side, these are the standard wheels here with the EcoBoost Premium, and they are an 18-inch gloss black with machine face wheel, and they are wrapped in 235/50 Continental Pro Contact RX all-season tires. And if you aren't a fan of the way that these wheels look, there are a few other wheel options that you can get as a standalone option. I believe there's either 2 or 3. However, I think there's like 6 wheel options or 5 wheel options in total. However, I do know that a few of the wheel options do require certain packages, like the Night Pony package, like the High Performance package. So certain wheels require packages. I do believe there are like 2 or 3 wheels that don't require packages. Just figured I'd mention that. And then also, as standard with the EcoBoost Premium, you get rain sensing wipers. And then this one has been optioned with the $3,000 EcoBoost Premium High package, which gives you the body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding. You will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left-hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. And then you also do get memory settings. So not only do you get driver seat memory settings, it also will memorize your side view mirror settings as well. And then last but not least, at the bottom of your side view mirrors, about right there, you will get a puddle light, but it's a pony projection puddle light, so it projects a pony emblem on the ground at night. I think that is a pretty cool thing, a little Easter egg, but you know, just adds to kind of the experience of the Mustang. So I think that's pretty sweet. Now I'm going to try to give you a little side profile shot of what this thing looks like. You may be able to tell you get some satin black window trim, then you get body color door handles with keyless access, and then coming all the way down to the sides, you get these rather sporty satin black side skirts. I'll give you a view from the back as well. I believe these are like the same side skirts that you find on the GT, or they look very similar too if they're not the exact same ones. And then up top here, you get a body color shark fin antenna. You also have your third brake light located there. You do get a rear window defroster. You get a capless filler neck back in here. By the way, 87 octane will do you just fine here. And then coming around back, this is what the back end, obviously this being the fastback, you get that sloping roof design. And then one thing I wanted to mention is that with the EcoBoost Premium, you get this body color deck lid spoiler, whereas if you got the standard EcoBoost, you would not get that deck lid spoiler. And then as standard, you do get LED sequential taillights. And then here's a booty shot of the EcoBoost. So you may be able to see, you get your pony logo, but above the pony logo, you have your backup camera. And if I came down underneath here, so about like right here, and I stuck my finger, you press on that pad and your trunk will open up. Just make sure your vehicle is either unlocked or you have your key fob in the pocket. And again, like I mentioned, this one's been optioned with the premium high package, so you do get the 12 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. So that is why you have a speaker here at the back end. If you wanted a little bit more storage space, you might want to skip the premium high package because that speaker does take up this cubby on the passenger side. You still get a storage cubby here on the driver's side of the trunk. And then this is what the trunk space looks like. Pretty small trunk, but what do you expect? This is a coupe after all, but you can fold those second row seats down. It's a 50-50 split. And then one thing I found interesting is that with the GT, you get a spare tire, but with the EcoBoost, you get the tire inflator kit. However, I have done a couple GTs at this point, and I have noticed that I believe maybe it was with the convertible GT, it had a spare tire, but then the GT with the performance package did not have a spare tire. And then I think the GT Coupe also had a spare tire as well. But just kind of interesting that the EcoBoost does not get a spare tire. Closing that back up, here's another shot of the back. You may be able to see that you do get a satin black rear valance back here. You get 2 reflectors, a dual exhaust system, 4 integrated parking sensors. You have your reverse light back here. And as standard with the EcoBoost Premium, you get a 315 limited slip axle. But if you wanted a sportier driving experience because, you know, this just isn't enough for you, then you might want to look into getting the $3,475 high performance package, which would give you a 355 torsion limited slip rear axle, as well as sport suspension tuning, an upgraded rear sway bar, and everything else you can read on screen right now. It is basically the EcoBoost version of the Mustang performance package that you get with the GT. It's just, again, the EcoBoost version. You pretty much get the same things that you get on the GT here on the EcoBoost with the performance package. So again, if you wanted a sportier driving experience, you know, something that's going to handle a little bit better off-road, you don't necessarily need a V8, then you might want to look into getting the high performance package. But yeah, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder that makes 315 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. It can only be mated to the 10-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 4.5 seconds. And if you are wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 22 miles per gallon in the city, 33 miles per gallon on the highway for 26 miles per gallon combined. Take a look at all the room here in the engine bay. On the left side, here in the front, and here on the left side as well. That is because they cram a massive 5-liter V8 in this engine bay as well. I know 5 liters is kind of low displacement wise with a V8. However, if you've ever seen a 5.0 out of an engine bay, they're actually a very big engine themselves. So just kind of funny to see this, the 4-cylinder here with all that room. But you may have caught my drift when I was talking about the transmission. You can only get the EcoBoost with the 10-speed automatic. You can no longer get the 6-speed manual transmission with the EcoBoost, which kind of stinks because a manual is definitely more engaging to drive than an automatic, but this 10-speed is a very good transmission. The only thing that's kind of stinks is that you have to get the high performance package in order to get paddle shifters. So you don't get paddle shifters as standard with even the EcoBoost Premium, which kind of stinks. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of a gripe for me. You know, if you're not going to give us a manual, at least make it a little bit engaging by giving us paddle shifters as standard, if we're only going to be able to get a 10-speed automatic. But anyways, with that stuff said, if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. If you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything from the video, please just take a second, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. The likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. That is what helps me make videos like this, so I'd appreciate it if you're enjoying the video to do those 3 things. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by running your finger across this little lock right here, and now the vehicle is locked. Now I want to walk you through a couple of the functions on the key fob. Starting from the top, you have your unlock function, your lock function, your remote start function, your trunk pop function, and your panic function all the way at the bottom. If you wanted to remote start the vehicle, you have to lock it first, press this button twice, and it'll fire right up. But now let's take a look at what the interior has to offer here with the EcoBoost Premium. So here is a look at what the interior looks like. So with the EcoBoost Premium, you get the black Onyx Active X upholstery as standard. There are a few other color options you can get this interior with. Like I mentioned earlier, this vehicle has been optioned with the $3,000 Premium High Package, which gives you the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. So you get 2 speakers here on the door panel, 1 up top there, and then 1 on the bottom. You also get these 3 memory seat adjustment settings here for the driver. You also get the Premier trim with the accent color, so you get some accent colored stitching. You get the accent color here on your seat belt as well. And then also with that package, you get this illuminating door sill here that says Mustang, and you get your pony logo there. I do believe only the Mustang script is illuminated, but this is what the door panel looks like. You get some vinyl wrapping at the top, you get some satin black plastic here on down. Then all of this is that Active X material. You get a nicely padded armrest, you get a satin chrome looking door handle. You're unlocking your lock functions again with the Premium package, or whatever, what's it called, the Premium High Package, excuse me. You get those 3 memory seat adjustment settings. You get automatic up and down windows here in the front, and then you have your power side view mirror controls and a little bit of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. This is what these front seats look like. You do get a 6-way power adjustable driver seat and a 4-way power adjustable passenger seat. So just keep in mind that here with the driver seat, you do get the manual recline. You do not get lumbar with the passenger seat, whereas you do here with the driver seat. But I love the adjustable headrest that you get with the Mustangs. It makes just driving very, very easy. For long road trips and stuff, you just rest your neck on the headrest. It makes, again, driving just very, very easy. And then these seats themselves are super, super comfortable. And as standard with the EcoBoost Premium, you get heated and ventilated front seats, as well as a heated steering wheel. But let's step on into the interior and let's see what the interior has to offer here. So you may see what is brand new for the S650 Mustang, and that is those 2 screens. But basically what I want to do here is I only want to take up 1 spot now instead of 2. I like to take up those spots when I'm walking around, but now I don't need to anymore. So I'm just going to back us into this spot. So basically for 2024, you now get a 12.4-inch digital gauge cluster and a 13.2-inch infotainment screen, which I'll get into here in a minute. But basically I want to walk you throughout the other controls on the vehicle first. So that is your trunk pop function. This is your headlight control knob. This is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster, as well as your backlit buttons. Coming over to here, if you flip this down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. So you can bring the steering wheel towards you, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and you can also move it up and down until you find your comfortable position, and then you just lock it right back into place. But now let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. That is your turn signal control stock and your high beam control stock, obviously. And then zooming back out, this feels like it's a leather wrapped steering wheel. I do know that this steering wheel is heated, and to turn your heated steering wheel function on, you click that button right there. You get one level of adjustability here with the heated steering wheel, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on this vehicle. And then one thing that I really like about the S650 Mustangs is the flat bottom design with the steering wheel. It looks very sporty, and that's just something that I appreciate. I just wish there were paddle shifters, and you can't even control the transmission over here. Like, there's not like an upshift or a downshift thing with the automatic over here either. So that really stinks. Like I said, you get rain sensing wipers, you get your windshield wiper control stock there. With the EcoBoost Premium, however, you do get selectable drive modes. So you have these buttons right here for your drive modes system, which I'll show you here in a second. But right here, all these other controls on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. With the Premium High package, you get adaptive cruise control as well as a lane keeping system, lane departure warning, pre-collision assist. Basically, here are your lane keeping buttons, is I guess right there, and then all of these other ones are for your adaptive cruise control system. And on this side of the steering wheel, this is to speak to the vehicle, this is to raise the volume, this is to lower the volume, this is going to bring you in between your different steering feels like normal, comfort, and sport. And then see these different controls here, these are to go forwards and or backwards on a track, and then these up arrows, the OK button, and these also double, I believe, as left and right buttons here for the digital gauge cluster. And yeah, back to our drive mode selector. So with the EcoBoost Premium, you get the selectable drive mode. So if I click down, it's going to put me into normal mode. If I click down one more time, it's going to put me into sport mode. One thing that's kind of interesting, you can see it actually says GT there. So it's not an actual EcoBoost. You see the GT? So then you can also tell it's a GT because at the front, see it says GT on it, because at the front you get the, what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. You get the air scoop. See right there? You get the air scoop. So that is a GT. It's kind of interesting to see that on the EcoBoost, and then you also get the 5.0 badging. So that's just kind of funny, but those are your different drive modes here. And then continuing on from there, let's move into our gauge cluster. I'm just going to start with normal mode. Again, this is a 12.4 inch digital gauge cluster. Tachometer on the left, speedometer on the right. You got your digital speedometer readout, traffic sign recognition. That is basically your speed limit sign right there. The traffic sign recognition also comes a part of the Premium High package. And then you get your fuel gauge over there, your fuel range, your coolant temperature gauge. This is like some driver assistance stuff, transmission status stuff down there. Ambient exterior temperature, media stuff. That is the compass, and then that is like letting you know, which mode your steering wheel is in. Right now it's in steering comfort. And then this stuff is configurable. So if I click down, you can go into fuel economy, you can go into tire pressure, gauge detail, some more gauge detail stuff, and your driver assistance stuff. Now, this can also double as to switch between your different preset radio stations as well, by the way. But yeah, moving throughout this screen, basically when you switch between your different drive modes, it's going to switch up the gauge cluster as long as the drive modes are linked to the gauge cluster theme, which these ones are. So you can see the gauge cluster now looks a little bit different than it did before, and now it's letting you know you're in sport mode and your steering is in sport mode. So different layouts between your different drive modes. And then I'm just gonna show you track mode because this is basically like the last mode that looks just a little bit different because you have your tach at the top, smaller speedometer, and so on and so forth. That is what that looks like. Again, you can link the drive modes to the gauge display, and I'll show you that in a second, but that's kind of about it for what we got going on throughout the gauge cluster. Now coming over to here again, this is your 13.2 inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So this is what your screen looks like. You can see you got your time, you got your ambient exterior temperature, you got your navigation stuff, media stuff, phone stuff, and then you may be able to tell you get no physical climate controls with the S650 Mustang, but you have all of your physical controls down here at all times. So again, you get heated and ventilated seats as standard with the EcoBoost Premium. Both get 3 levels of adjustability. Then you got your heated steering wheel button, and then this is your heated seat and ventilated seat button for the passenger side as well. If you wanted the climate control system to take up the entire screen, you would just click right here, and then it's going to take up the entire screen, and that is what the climate control screen looks like on this. And then if you click that again, it's going to disappear. Get your home button up top there. This is what your home screen looks like. Then you can go in between your different settings. So this is one setting screen, secondary setting screen, and third setting screen. You also get this split screen over here as well that will show you your phone, your navigation, your media stuff. And if you come down a little bit more, you can also see your trip one and, come on, fuel economy stuff. Let's see, can we swipe that over? Nope, you can swipe that way. That is what that does. Anyway, I wanted to show you a couple of your different vehicle controls here. So here are some of your different settings. That is what all of the settings screen looks like. And then that's kind of about it for the settings stuff. You can also go in between your different features. You basically have a favorites button. So you have a star down here. You can set that favorites button to what you want it to be. So you can go in here and edit your favorite, and it can either be auto hold or it can bring you into the calm screen. Those are the only two options that you have. And then here are some of your driver assistance features. This is what that screen looks like. You can pause at any time, take a look at that stuff, but I want to make this video not too long. And one other thing I wanted to show you is that if you click this pony right here, it's going to bring you into this screen. And by the way, you also get some ambient lighting with the EcoBoost Premium. But this is the My Mustang screen. So when you click the pony button, it brings you into this screen. You can go in between your different track apps. It's so weird to me that they show an GT but not an EcoBoost when you're in an EcoBoost. Then you have some auxiliary gauges. You can go into your custom mode. You can set this how you want it to be when you put it into custom mode here with your drive mode selector. Then you can go in between your My color. So you can see right now that stuff's orange. So if I came over to here and I went into blue, now it's going to turn some of my colors into blue. So like that stuff's blue, and now I brought the bottom color. Now this stuff has turned blue. But if I bring it back over to here, you'll see all that stuff goes back to orange, and all of these functions also go back to orange. I kind of like the blue. So you can see it's going to change back to blue. But yeah, that's what those buttons do. And go back, and you can also go into your cluster theme again. Right now it is matched to the drive mode, so when I switch between my different drive modes, the layout of the gauge cluster is going to change, as you will see here in a second. Or you could either leave it always in sport mode or track mode or whatever mode you wanted to, you know, have the gauge cluster in. So if I put it into track, it's always going to be on track mode. It also shows you there, but I like to match it to the drive mode. I think it just makes the drive modes a little bit more special. But yeah, 2 HVAC vents, let you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. Push button, start button. You have a physical volume control knob. That is to turn your auto stop start system off. That is to turn your traction control system off. Again, that's going to bring you into your My Mustang mode. You get your hazard button. I already showed you the favorites button. Then you get your max front defroster. With the EcoBoost Premium, you get a wireless charging pad as standard. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and it just barely fits in the wireless charging pad. Then you also get a USB-C port, a USB-A port, and a 12-volt power outlet down in there as well. One thing though is that when you have your phone connected to the wireless charging pad, it will let you know if the phone is charging right there with the battery with that like electric bolt. So yeah. Then coming to our gear shifter again, you can only get to the EcoBoost with the 10-speed automatic transmission, and you don't like have a manual shift mode. You only have like low mode. That's about it. Then electronic parking brake.
Sorry, I can only call one person at a time. Who would you like to call?
Nobody, Siri. But yeah, coming over to here, you get 2 cup holders. You get a nicely padded armrest. You can open up this armrest, and you get a 12-volt power outlet down in here. You also get a decent amount of storage space, but really not all that much storage space. And you also get a light for that as well. And then you can also set a pen right here if you wanted to. I would like to keep a pen in there. I would anyway if this was my vehicle. Coming over to here, you get a lockable lower glove box, good amount of storage space in the glove box. Then you get some of, I think this is either leather or Active X. And then this is what the passenger side looks like. Up top here, driver gets a light, passenger gets a light, both are LED. This is for your light settings, whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the door. And then that is also your instant dome light on button if you press up there. When it's flush, when you open up the doors, the lights will turn on. Then you get a spot you could set sunglasses. With the premium high package, you do get the universal garage door opener, so you can open up 3 different garage bays. Then you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights and a spot you could set some paper or any small paper product. And then these will slide forwards and backwards depending on where the sun is shining. Then you get your tweeters here. in the A-pillars, and that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the front seats. Like I was mentioning, the front seats are very, very comfortable themselves. You know, I could definitely do a very long road trip here with these seats. Now, if I got the Recaros, it'd probably be a different story. I've actually never tested an S650 Mustang with the Recaros, by the way. But I wanted to go over the premium high package. So that's going to cost you $3,000, and it gives you the 12-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, the memory driver seat in the mirrors, the premium trim with accent color, the illuminated sill plates, the universal garage door opener, the safety package, which includes the active anti-theft system, the electronic locking center console, and the wheel locking kit. It also gives you Ford Copilot 360 Assist, which gives you adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane keeping system with lane keep assist, or lane keeping system with lane keep assist and lane departure warning. You also get pre-collision assist, speed sign recognition, and everything else you can read on screen. Now I'm just going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at the couple options this vehicle has. You can take a look at everything that you get as standard. Actually, this thing only has one option on it, but basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Mustang EcoBoost Premium is spec'd is $41,040. Definitely a lot of money, but this thing actually, you know, I know people give the EcoBoost a lot of flack because it's not a V8 and all that kind of stuff, but 350 pound-feet of torque and 315 horsepower is pretty respectable, honestly. Like, you can't even hate on that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a V8, obviously. You know, I love the V8 sound, and I'd probably spring for a V8 myself, but if you don't really care, this is a very quick, nice, comfortable vehicle for, you know, those who don't really care about, you know, the V8 sound and all that kind of stuff, still want something quick. The tuning capability is pretty decent on these, but I do want to show you what these rear seats look like. But I am 5'9", and I'm not super comfortable here in the back seats, so that's why I'm not even going to try to get in the back seats. You could make it work. Like, I had somebody in my comments say that they traded in a 2013 Mustang that was 6 hours away from them, and he has like 2 kids who were like over 6 foot, and one of them sat in the back on that 6-hour drive, and then they were in the 2013, and then on the way back, this S650 has even less headroom than the 2013 did. So he was like, well, you know, it's not ideal, but you can make it work. So obviously you can make it work. But, you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, and now on to the driving portion of the video. Here's a little acceleration. I'm telling you, this thing is actually respectably quick. And, you know, before anybody, all the V8 guys come in here and be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I have a 2010 Camaro. And this is going to fuel their fire even more. Be like, you have a Camaro, you don't know what fast is. So anyways, I have a 2010 Camaro SS. It's got a V8. It's tuned. It's got headers. It doesn't have a cam. It's got headers, full exhaust. It makes like 415 wheel horsepower. This thing is actually respectably quick. You know, like I said, it's not as quick as obviously the GT is going to be. Here's an acceleration. But for what it is, not being a V8, I'm actually very happy with the power that this has and how it feels and how it builds power and all that kind of stuff, because it is actually very quick. And it sounds kind of cool because you got the turbo. And you can hear the turbo building boost. It's like, it's actually kind of loud. And it really starts to build boost at about 2,500 RPM. My major gripe with the S650 EcoBoost is not only, I don't really care that it only comes with a 10-speed automatic. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have a 6-speed manual, but the major gripe comes with, yes, if you're gonna limit us to a 10-speed automatic, at least give us paddle shifters as standard. I think that is ridiculous how this does not come standard with paddle shifters and how you have to get the high performance package in order to get the paddle shifters. Even if you never use them that often, it's still nice to have, you know, for the times that you do use them. Here's an acceleration. Again, it is like respectably quick. Like it truly is quick. Yes, it's not V8 quick, but for what it is actually very, very quick. You know, I mean, this thing isn't the, I think it weighs like 3,800 pounds, maybe less, maybe more with the 4-cylinder. I know it's less than a V8, but it's quick, you know what I mean? And it handles pretty decently well. I wonder how well it would do a burnout. I think it wouldn't have any problem doing a burnout. I don't think a lot of you will be doing burnouts in this, but seat comfort wise, man, these seats are so comfortable. Ford always does a great job with their seat comfort. It doesn't matter if it's a Mustang, an F-150, an Edge, any of their Ford products, and especially Lincoln products. The seats are so comfortable. And honestly, sitting in these seats versus like the new Camaro seats are not obviously as comfortable as these. These are like almost sitting in an F-150. That is how comfortable these seats are, and I think that's awesome. Here's another little low end acceleration. The 10-speed also does a great job at keeping this engine in the power band. Like, it just goes boom, boom, boom. Like, same thing that it does with the 5-liter. Just keeps it right where it needs to be in the RPM band. And it's very comfortable to sit in, but it's also quick, gets very good fuel economy. So this could be a daily driver for you. So could the 5.0. The 5.0 could also be a daily. Obviously the 5.0's gas mileage is not as good as this, but you know, even the 5.0 gets pretty decent fuel economy, at least on the highway and around town and stuff like that. Not all that great, but you know, that's not the reason you buy the 5.0. So if you're comparing the EcoBoost to the 5.0, well, what are the reasons you want to get the EcoBoost over the 5.0? If it's due to fuel economy, then obviously you're going to want to get the EcoBoost. But if it's due to power, fuel economy, and all that kind of stuff, I would say you want to go out and test drive both. I think if you did test drive the 5.0 and you did test drive this, you'd probably be sold on the 5.0 just because of the sound and the power and all that kind of stuff. But again, if the sound really isn't your thing, you're looking for the power, you're looking for something comfortable, you're looking for something that gets good fuel economy, but you still want something that's pretty quick, the EcoBoost is all of those things. It's comfortable, fuel efficient, quick, so on and so forth. Again, the only major gripe that I do have is not having paddle shifters as standard and having to get the high performance package in order to get the paddle shifters. And if you get the high performance package, the ride's not going to be as good because it just stiffens up the suspension. It's more of like a handling package, and it's basically supposed to make the vehicle just more sporty. That's why it's called the high performance package. But here, I'm going to put us into sport mode, and I'm going to do a nice acceleration with foot to the floor. So let me get straightened out, foot to floor. It is quick. I'm telling you, this thing is very quick. It doesn't sound like a 5.0, but it's got really good power, and a 4.5 second 0 to 60 time for a non V8 Mustang is awesome, because I believe, like, yeah, I think the 5.0 is like maybe a half second quicker to 60. And obviously you're going to feel the 5.0's power, you know, once you get higher up, you know, 60 to 100, that's when you really feel the 5.0, you know, start pulling. But you know, most of the time you're not going 120 you're not doing like a 60 to 120 mile an hour pull all the time. You're doing more quick accelerations. You know, obviously there are going to be some of you who are doing like 60 to 130s quite often, but you know, for those of you who are not doing that kind of speed, this thing is plenty quick, plenty quick, very fuel efficient. Now I definitely do like the premium high package, but it really makes this expensive. So you know, you could get GT for another, what was the sticker price on this? Like 41,000. For another like $5,000 you can get the GT. So it just depends, you know, is the GT, the V8, worth it to you? If it is, then you might want to look into getting one. But you know, with the premium high package, it does make the EcoBoost pretty expensive. But again, this thing's quick, it's comfortable, the sound system is great with the premium high package. You get the 12 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. I think that is worth it because it does sound very good. And then the interior is just very plush feeling here with the premium high package. So it's all up to you. What are you looking for? If you're looking for the sound and the power, you get the 5.0. If you're looking for the acceleration, the fuel efficiency, and that kind of stuff, then you might want to look into getting the EcoBoost. But before we end out today's video, here's another little acceleration. very quick, guys. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to give the video a thumbs up, to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and hit that subscribe button. Again, the likes and comments in particular look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.